thought of while I had my break was I could think of a reason why Magnify decided to hold on to that, what's it? No, not Magnify, why Zach decided to hold on to that, diary page. It's because what if he really wants to protect Val and Gramarye? More than he wants to be able to live with his daughter. Or, you know, spend time with her. Or, you know, be in the public at all. What the hell, dude? I'll never get over it. It just, playing this again has once again reignited all my memories of all those memes on the internet. It's like, fuck Zach Gramarye, worst person alive. Just all the huge Zach smear campaign. And for great reason. He's an awful dad. Dude left to get milk from the entire world. Alright, but for real, let's go. Ah, Your Honor. Nice to see you again. It's been quite a while, hasn't it? To what do I owe the pleasure of your company? It's not every day I'm summoned from my solitary cell. In fact, it's never. I think you already know Mr. Christoph Gavin. Ah, Mr. Justice. I hear you've been doing quite well for yourself. Why do I feel like somehow he's still my boss? Step up a lip, Apollo. You can do it! Does this bottle look familiar? Ariadne nail polish? Why, yes. I use it myself. As did the late defendant, I hear. She's not dead yet! And was there something concerning this bottle you wish to ask me about? I admit I respect her for her taste in nail polish. Her taste indeed. This nail polish was how Vera Mission was poisoned. Atraclinine, was it? You're well informed about the case, Mr. Gavin. Even in solitary, much comes to my desk, and I have nothing to do but read. Well, Clavier? Maybe you can explain this? You're being accused again. By him. Again. And you agree with his accusation, do you? Let's hold a proper trial, shall we? Christoph Gavin, your testimony, please. I'd be delighted. The charges against you are quite severe, Mr. Gavin. You are suspected of poisoning the defendant, Vera Misham. Please testify on this matter to the court. Owning the same nail polish does not a murder make. I've been in solitary confinement for half a year. How could I poison her? Her father died of the same poison, the meaning of which should be clear. Prosecution's case holds. She poisoned her father, then attempted to poison herself. Surely you aren't going to suggest I was responsible for poisoning her father, too. Well, I'm afraid the defense's claim is sounding rather unlikely. Naturally. For one, I don't even know the Mishams. Isn't that so, Mr. Justice? Very well, Mr. Justice. Begin your cross-examination. Accusing Christoph Gavin, my ex-boss. But I know he poisoned the Mishams. The question is, when could he have done it? Not to mention, why? Oh, seeing Apollo's bracelet again brought up the question for me. If the bracelet adjusts to the size of the wrist of the wearer, how do you take it off? I guess probably like dunking it in some ice water or something like that would help loosen it if increasing your body temperature tightens it. But still, yeah, that's probably the obvious answer. Oh. Does not a murderer make? I have been in solitary confinement for half a year. How could I poison her? Let's perceive. Oh my god, what is going on with your eyes? I remember your shit. Oh my god, what's that scar on your hand? There it is. I remember this. Back in the day, this was trauma-inducing, and by that I mean I was stuck here for several hours. Because this shows up for that long.
Gotcha!
Hey, Kristoff, why do the veins on your hand and the scar look like a skull? It was you who killed Drew Misham. A bluff worthy of your new mentor, Mr. Wright. Oh, really? But you see, I saw it. Right when you said her father, too. Your hand tensed unnaturally, and a little devil appeared to give me the news. And let's assume, for the sake of argument, that you saw me being tense. What does that mean? Are all tense witnesses guilty? And tell me, was Drew Misham fond of nail polish too? Sorry, but there's more than one way to poison a man. You don't need nail polish to get to someone's mouth. Then I must be very talented indeed. You see, Drew Misham was killed on October 6th, while I was already in solitary confinement at my prison cell. I just went with it and I fumbled it even harder, while I was already in my solitary confinement cell at Central Prison. If that's not an alibi, I don't know what is. But you found a way all the same, and I found it too. This is how you poisoned Mr. Misham. Oh, wait, right. Whoops, I'm still looking at the portrait frame. And here I thought you'd come so far. I admire how you, lacking any confidence whatsoever, chose to barrel on. Your defense lacks even a shred of elegance. Much like Phoenix Wright, come to think of it. Relax, Justice. I've come this far. I must know the answer. How did the killer get to his victim when the killer was in jail? Right, I have all the stuff that Phoenix Wright had. Here, look, a stamp. I'm sure this commemorative stamp requires no introduction. The night Mr. Misham died, he was seen writing a letter. Atroquinine was found on this stamp, Mr. Gavin. So I am to understand this stamp was the murder weapon? Yes, you are. Oh, and yes, this stamp was found in your prison cell. That is all, Your Honor. Poison on the back of that stamp? After Drew Misham was killed, someone paid a visit to this witness's cell. Phoenix Wright. Daddy? That's when he found the stamp. You made Drew Misham write you a letter. That's how you killed him. What? My. You've upset my poor brother to the point of uselessness. Allow me to clarify this matter, Justice. All you need to do is recall witness Spark Brushell's testimony. He was looking for a stamp. Ergo, he had no intention of using this stamp. What are you getting at? What I'm arriving at is that this commemorative stamp was in a frame. It was a mere coincidence that he used it that night. That would seem to be the case. Or perhaps you mean to suggest that I can somehow manipulate coincidence. He does have a point. How would this witness know if the victim was going to use that stamp? Without that, he couldn't have planned the murder. Really, Clavier? You should be seeing through these weak-spined bluffs by now. He's right, though. How could anyone have known Mr. Misham would use that stamp that night? Least of all, Christoph Gavin locked away in his cell. Well, it seems that the defense has run out of things to say. You assume he had something to say in the first place. I believe the defense's bluff has been called. The defense's bluff? I'm not sure I agree with you there, Christoph. Clavier. Honestly, I wanted to believe you. But the defense wasn't trying to get away with a bluff. You were, Christoph. What are you saying? Prosecutor Gavin? Forehead. What was your accusation again? Huh? It was that this poison stamp killed Drew Misham, yeah? To which my brother responded thusly. There was no way to know when Misham would use the stamp. Yes, that's right. Which is why it couldn't have been planned. Tell me, it needs to be planned. Why? Why couldn't it have been a coincidence? The defense's case is simply that Drew Misham died by that stamp, that's all. Coincidence? Christoph, you tried to slip out from under his accusation by changing the subject. If that's not bluffing, what is it? What are you up to, Clavier? I can ask you the same question, Christoph. Christoph? I silenced the defense with the fewest words possible. It's called efficiency. But Mr. Gavin, that's impermissible testimony. Very well. I shall take his claim head on then. Christoph! Justice? What? You accuse me of Drew Misham's murder, yes? Then, allow me to ask you, what possible reason could I have to kill a painter? Paulo, motive! He's talking about a motive! Indeed. It's hard to see how an attorney could come to want to kill a painter. Now here's something. Why didn't he bring up the motive from the very beginning? Unless he was afraid it was a battle he might lose. So, what does it mean? It means there might be a weak spot. Maybe I have some evidence to prove a motive. A motive for murder. This is a vital, if not the most vital element in this case. Please consider this when making your statement. I'd say about this vital. That's pretty vital. Well, Mr. Justice, I'm going through with this no matter what. Understood, Your Honor. I'd like to present evidence. Then let's see what you have for us. What reason did Christoph Gavin have for wanting to murder Drew Misham? A notebook page. Christoph Gavin's motive becomes clear when we consider why the stamp came to Drew Misham's studio in the first place. And why was that? Forgery, Your Honor. Go back 7 years. Drew Misham accepts his first job creating forged evidence. I've seen that before. A page from a diary, wasn't it? Magnifique Grammary's diary. When attorney Phoenix Wright lost his badge, yes. This was the evidence he presented, to his loss. This evidence is a fake, yes. But did Mr. Wright request this forgery he made? Be made? That was never proven. The defense attorney on that case was Phoenix Wright. Who other than him, drunk with the prospect of victory, could have done it? And why would they? Just out of curiosity, do you remember this letter? This is the first page. And this is the second. Those were presented in court yesterday. This letter was sent to Drew Misham by the client who requested that forgery. The enclosed stamp was none other than the poison commemorative stamp. Drew Misham drew his last breath just the other day. However, The motive for his murder was already 7 years old. 7 years old. The client who requested this forgery was very cautious. He tried to erase anything and anyone with connections to the forgery. To keep them from talking? But he made a mistake. The stamp was a picture of my favorite magicians, so I kept it. Oh, she loved magic! The killer's time bomb was delayed. The poison stamp was sealed within a glass frame, where it sat for 7 whole years. Forehead. Do you understand what you're telling us? The one who schemed up the forged diary page was the one who poisoned the stamp. And it was Phoenix Wright who presented the forged evidence 7 years ago. According to the two statements together, adding the two statements together, the one who schemed to kill Drew Misham was none other than Phoenix Wright.
Objection!
Sorry, but that's not how this is going to go down. Oh? Then how will it go down? I checked through the records on that case, when I found this. 7 years ago, just before the trial began. And one more thing. Your previous attorney only yesterday. Attorney. Ugh. Phoenix Wright was put on the case the day before the trial started. He didn't have time to request a forgery. The day before! Now here's a question. Just who was Shady Eddingmar's previous defense attorney? No. This can't all be... But it is all true. There was another man. A defense attorney with a badge on his collar. It was you! Christoph Gavin! What is the meaning of this? Witness! Defendant, or former lawyer! Let me begin by denying this. It's easy enough to look up, Mr. Gavin, and impossible to prove if you can't. Attorneys are registered with the court the day before the trial begins. In other words, no record remains in the court. How exactly did you intend to prove Mr. Wright's claim? How exactly did you intend to prove Phoenix Wright's claim? That would be difficult. I'm afraid this line of inquiry won't yield. Forehead. Are you sure you don't have evidence? What's wrong with Prosecutor Gavin? He looks clammy. Evidence! Evidence that shows this man, Christoph Gavin, requested that forgery 7 years ago. Clavier? Just prove it! Clear up these doubts now, or I swear I'm off this case. You must have thought of some evidence, Apollo. Prosecutor Gavin looks like he's in physical pain. That darkness. I have to pull that darkness out of him. And proof is the only way I can. What proves Christoph Gavin's link to Drew Misham? Well, Mr. Justice, you claim Christoph Gavin's requested a forgery of Drew Misham 7 years ago. Prove it. It can be proven. Simply ridiculous. Why even discuss it? This evidence does not. Are you telling the truth, Apollo Justice? I am. Then, I say we give him the benefit of the doubt. Very well, but if you're wrong about this, be prepared for a penalty. Oh, why are you objecting? Your Honor, you do the defense an injustice. Mr. Justice is clearly passionate about his claim. Should the penalty not match his passion? Oh, shit! I haven't given a penalty like that in a long time. Well, Mr. Justice? Fine, Your Honor. All I have to prove is any kind of link. I know what the bottle is. Oh my god, I know what the evidence is. It's the bottle. Spoilers. But something that ties Christoph Gavin to Drew Misham. And I have something that clearly does the job. Very well, Mr. Justice. Present your evidence. Show us the link between our witness and Drew Misham. Oh, right. There's much more obviously this one. Let's see, specifically, requested a forgery, prove it, and it can be proven. Let's just look at the contents of this again real quick. Can we look at the contents of this? It says Drew Misham on the back right here. Address on here and a name I've never heard of. At least I think so. It's too blurry to read. You're not gonna let me inspect the very clearly written name here? Well, there's the nail polish. But he also said that, oh, hey, she has great taste, and that's how he deflected. So let's start with the letter from Misham. This evidence proves there's a link. That scrap of paper? I'm afraid I can't let you submit that. Is there some problem? There is. How could you possibly have that? You couldn't. Hmm? Hey, that's Daddy's handwriting. Mr. Wright's handwriting? What's the meaning of this? I see now. Yes, of course. What do you mean, of course? I just remembered I had a visitor yesterday. Phoenix Wright came to my cell. Except, I wasn't there. Phoenix Wright? When I returned, I saw he had something of mine in his possession. Of course, I had no intention of letting him get away with reading my private mail. Mail? You mean this letter was in your cell? No. However, it appears Mr. Wright has yet to be cured of his bad forging habit. Well, if it's a forgery, it's not a very good one. The handwriting's terrible. This is Mr. Wright's reproduction of what was written in the real letter. Reproduction? When Mr. Wright visited Christoph Gavin's cell, he brought with him a small video camera. What? He recorded his entire conversation with you, Mr. Gavin, and the contents of your personal mail. Regardless, this mockery of a piece of evidence will never be accepted by the court. Evidence based on a video of a man with no authority whatsoever claims he took. A man who happens to be an ex-attorney is suspected of forgery. Prosecutor Gavin? Prosecutor Gavin? As embarrassing as this is for me to say, I'm afraid my brother is incapable of making rational judgments at the moment. Your Honor, your decision, please. The defense's claim is denied. What? Only actual evidence is permitted in a court of law. Let's just ask Phoenix for the video. Please remove the defense's evidence from the record. Better luck next time, Justice. Well, we've certainly taken a detour from our cross-examination, but the defense appears to be lacking proof. I'm forced to end the cross-examination of Christoph Gavin at this point. Apollo, do something! I'm thinking, but without evidence, I don't have anything I can use on him. Very well. This ends the special witness's cross-examination. Yeah! Let's go, Gavin! Sorry, Clavier. The show's over, but the crowd screams for more. Only now do I understand why. Prosecutor Gavin? Frankly, I'm relieved. This has been bothering me for 7 whole years, and I'm tired of the whole youthful angst scene. Now's our chance. Let's clean out the family closet, eh, Christoph? Clavier, you're spinning out of control. Calm yourself before you say something you'll regret. Spinning out of whose control? Mine or yours? Take a moment to consider everything you've built. Your reputation as a prosecutor, your fame with the masses. You could lose it all, Clavier. Paulo, did you see that? He's trying to press Prosecutor Gavin. Prosecutor Gavin, try to remember, what's really important to you? You amuse me, Forehead. I couldn't forget what's really important to me, even if I tried. In fact, I haven't. Not even once. 7 years ago... 7 years ago... I'm familiar with the trial. I've watched the video several times. Didn't you find anything unnatural about it? About it? Unnatural? Well, you did seem unusually well prepared. I mean, Mr. Wright had only just presented his evidence, and the next moment you called and drew mission. It was almost as if... what? Funny. It didn't even occur to me to wonder. But now that I do, I see there's only one possible explanation. Almost as if, from the very beginning, you knew Mr. Wright was going to present that evidence. Correct. I knew that if I applied the usual pressure, Phoenix Wright would eventually come up with that forged diary page. Don't do this, Clavier. I knew because you told me, Christoph. What? It was the night before the trial. Clavier. Christoph? Odd seeing you at the prosecutor's office the day before the trial. I won't be appearing in the trial, actually. Huh? Why not? I won't be facing off with you on your first trial, apparently. But in exchange, I brought information. Information? The attorney who will be there in my place tomorrow is not to be trusted. Don't even give him the benefit of your respect. Listen. I want you to call in a special witness. Then... I wondered about it at the time. How did Christoph know so much? Prosecutor Gavin. Guitar. Christoph! We were supposed to face each other in that trial. A fair fight, brother to brother. I deserved that much. You let me borrow the victim's belongings. You showed me all your research on the case. The victim's belongings? Which would have included Mangfi's diary, wouldn't it? Mr. Gavin? My, Clavier. You disappoint me. You find trees, yet miss the forest. You're the one missing the forest, Mr. Gavin. You can't sweep this under the rug. Not anymore. Tell me what was going on behind that trial. Why not? I've achieved what I came here to do. I see no harm in a little reminiscing. Paulo, I think we're finally going to shine a light on the black belly of this thing, Trucy. We've done everything we could. Let's hope it's enough. 7 years ago, the day before the trial, I visited the detention center at the request of my client, Zach Gramarye. Yo, is he going to have 777 ace ace and the other guy's going to have king 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 and what was the other? Enough. You lose, Gavin. Thanks for the work. Now go. He didn't. We don't know what cards he had. We just know that Kristoff sucks at poker. And somebody's pinging me. Fucking hell. Block number. Delete conversation. Oh, the wonders of election season. To be honest, I don't know what his reasons were to this day. As far as I could tell, he dismissed me as his representation, because I lost in a game of poker. I can come to no other conclusion. Daddy used to say something. If you want to know a man, you have to compete. Zach wasn't watching his points, or the cards. He was watching the man behind the cards, Kristoff Gavin. I couldn't believe it. Phoenix Wright. A second-rate attorney who relies on luck and bluffs. He dismissed me and went with that pitiful excuse for a man. He deserved to die for that error alone. Hold it! So, the one who requested that forgery was... I'm not admitting to anything. My point is, these two men shamed me, and I could not forgive that. Phoenix Wright and Zach Gramery both deserved what they got. So you asked Mr. Misham to forge that evidence, so you could win. But then, when you were dismissed as Zach Gramery's attorney, you used your forged evidence as a trap. You fed me information about the forgery you made. Then you gave your dirty evidence to him. You're free to imagine what you will. My point is that all I had imagined came to pass. Everything went perfectly. Incredible. If I wasn't laughing, I'd weep. Prosecutor Gavin? Perfectly? You're mad, Kristoff. Stop fooling yourself. What are you talking about, Clavier? Tell me, how did that trial end? Cancelled. When the defendant vanished. I get it. So, Kristoff, you've been living in fear for 7 years. What? You were afraid your forgery would be revealed, and your reputation trashed. You couldn't leave things to chance. So you watched everyone involved with the case for 7 years. Wait just a minute. Zach Gramery was seen by this reporter? How is that possible? Was he alive after being gone 7 years? Finally. I knew this moment was coming. I just didn't think we'd get here so fast. Zach Gramery. Gone missing for 7 years. Shusi's father. What's wrong, Apollo? Go get him! Right. Leave it to me. Allow me to refresh the court's memory. 6 months ago, Kristoff Gavin was charged with murdering a mysterious traveler. I remember him quite well. Shady Smith, was it? Poisoned in a Chinese restaurant. Tragic. The details don't really matter now. What matters is that traveler was Zach Gramery. What is it, Apollo? Huh? Keep going! We'll talk about it later. Did she already know? Someone please explain this! Mr. Justice, can you explain this? It all started 7 years ago. The great magician Magnifique Gramery's death started it. Magnifique Gramery's death and his student, Zach Gramery, the suspect. Whoever defended Zach in court successfully would be famous beyond belief. Thinking that, Christoph Gavin did the unthinkable. He forged evidence. Drew Misham. Actually, it was his daughter, Vera, who really did the work. You took precautions when you had that forgery made, didn't you, Mr. Gavin? Precautions? To keep people from talking, of course. These two know too much. Leave them alive and there'll be nothing but trouble. That's when you planned your poisoning of the forgers. Atroquinine. Applied to a commemorative stamp. But luck was on Mr. Misham's side. The bomb didn't go off. His daughter. She saved him by taking the stamp. I see. But that wasn't the only bomb he set up. The Aridani nail polish. Of course. You noticed something when you requested that forgery. When Vera Misham is nervous, she has a bad habit. Tendency to bite her nails. That nail polish was her good luck charm. Shoot. No, right. Flashback. Almost kidnapped once. Oh yeah. He was hoping that she would put on the nail polish, go outside, and then get so nervous and just fucking keel over on the spot. It was his insurance. Insurance? As long as she lived quietly at home, there was no danger to her. But what if she had to go outside? If she ran into any trouble, she'd become nervous. And the nail polish would do the rest. His time bomb sat there for 7 years. And then, they went off almost simultaneously. Stamp got the dad, nail polish got the daughter. If you're finished, may I return my cell now? I'm not accustomed to standing for such long periods of time. Excuse me, Gavin, you're a defense attorney. You stood where Apollo stood, and currently you're a witness, which means you were sitting before, probably. You're used to standing. You're a defense attorney. Come on. Have you heard a single thing we've said? Oh, I listened quite closely to your little tale. Quite an entertaining piece of fiction. What? Clavier, surely you understand. We're back to the evidence. The lacking evidence. Nothing proves a link between him and the atroquinine that took Drew Misham's life. Objection! What about the restaurant? You killed Zach Gramery to keep him from talking. I killed no man of that name. Read over the report again if you'd like. The victim was a traveler by the name of Shady Smith, about whom we know little else. Wow, the shading changed between those two frames. Between those two statements, even. You can't seriously think I knew that he was that particular fugitive. Okay, then why did you kill him? I plead my right to remain silent. Remember, this court did not convene to put me on trial. The defendant's name is Vera Misham, suspected of the murder of her father. My trial's been finished for 6 months now. I'm afraid we have strayed considerably from our purpose here. This court concurs with the witness. It is defendant Vera Misham who is on trial here. No! But you were doing so well, Apollo! As long as there is no evidence to support the accusation against him, this course of inquiry cannot find Vera Misham innocent. Your Honor, Phoenix Wright spent 7 years collecting this evidence. You still don't get it, do you? Let us assume there was poison in the nail polish. Who then was responsible for causing Vera Misham to bite her nails? What? It wasn't me, I know that much. The one who brought that poison to her lips was you. What? What? Nani? Evidence is everything. There's nothing more. There is nothing more. I believe this discussion has reached its conclusion. Your Honor! Mr. Justice, you have performed admirably well for a novice attorney. I respect your partner, Phoenix Wright's determination as well. However, without direct proof, you have nothing. Isn't that right, Clavier? Unfortunately. Yes, Christophe, you're right. That is, you would have been right until now. What? Did the news not reach your desk in solitary? The eyes of the nation are on this courtroom today. This is the trial case for a new judicial system. That's right. I'd totally forgotten. The jurist system! Jurists, you say? The current judicial system has been deemed too closed off from society. This new system attempts to inject the wisdom of common citizens into the law. Common citizens? Wisdom? Is this some kind of joke? What could we possibly gain by doing this? Entrusting our judicial system to a mindless, emotional mob of irrational mouth breathers. Common citizens have something called common sense. Common sense is not restricted by the law. Nonsense. There's only room for two in this court. Me and the law. Keep the riffraff out. Out, I say! They're not in court, actually. They're watching everything by video camera. They're looking at you, chat! And I guess me too. How could you allow this? Incidentally, the one responsible for making this happen was Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright? So, everything was leading to this. Of course. Right. Right. Right! I cannot do this justice without getting incredibly loud, so I'm not. I can't accept. This is no court. There are other people in the house and somebody who is sleeping right now. I cannot do that. Law. The law is everything. Law is absolute. You'd let ignorant swine soil your courts? Christophe. It's over. Clavier! The law is absolute. You can't be serious. What? Odd. I thought you spent your life looking for loopholes. The law isn't absolute. It's filled with contradictions. The law is the end product of many years of history, the fruit of human knowledge. Like a gem, polished to a gleam through trials and errors. It is this fruit we receive and pass on and face in our time. And it is always changing, growing. Nurturing it is our task as human beings. Except for you, Christophe. You aren't changing. You've stopped. You're not needed anymore. I couldn't think of anything to say. Maybe because I still haven't seen enough. But someday, I'll know what law is. And I'll fight to change it if I have to. I see no need to further prolong this trial. This began as the trial of Vera Misham, accused of murdering her father. The painter Drew Misham. However, several other incidents were reviewed, and we seem to have reached a conclusion. Before this court declares a verdict, I await your decision. Justices of the court, for the death of Drew Misham, how do you find the defendant, Vera Misham? Innocent or guilty? Let's, just... Oh. I turn to you now to consider this matter. Jurist's chambers. This ends the trial for the case. Only the verdict remains to be decided. Defendant Vera Misham is currently in intensive care. If a decision cannot be reached today, it may never be reached. The factors involved are simple. Did the defendant poison her father that night? If so, she is guilty. Or was there another reason for Mr. Misham's death? Did another person poison him? If so, she is innocent. A panel has been provided to each of you. A panel has been provided for each of you to input your decisions. That is all. Please. Wait! Yes, jurist number 6? There's something in the jurist handbook here. Persons involved with the case may not be jurists. That is correct. I have looked into all of your dossiers. None of you were involved with the development of the case. With the development of the case? I see. Does that answer your concern? It's time for your verdicts. Make your decision in the case against Vera Misham. After 7 years, the truth is ready to be heard. Judge wisely. Judge well. Wow. There she is. I put it to a poll. There was only one vote, but... Oh shit, wait, I wasn't paying attention. That's not, okay, no. No, I fucked up. Okay, oh wait, hold on, I can, okay, oh my god. And so, a verdict was reached on October 9th, 2:14 p.m. I fucking accidentally pressed guilty as I was hovering over both of them. The first verdict under the jurist system. Innocent, by unanimous decision. But, I know if you click guilty, it's guilty by unanimous decision. Pretty sure. Almost certainly sure. The record will show that when the verdict was announced, special witness Christoph Gavin laughed. A laugh louder than any ever heard before, or since. A laugh that echoed in the halls of justice, lingering for what seemed like hours. Eat shit, Christoph! Get got. October 10th. 8:30 a.m., the morning after the trial, in an intensive care ward. A true miracle occurred. Vera Misham opened her eyes. Pretty sure if you choose guilty, it ties somehow. Oh, you get a hang jury verdict? I do know that if you choose guilty though, Vera keels over. Yeah. Vera. Oh, I'm so glad Don't cry, Apollo. Oh, I'm happy too. I'm proud. You did well, Apollo. When I thought about what if Vera, Hey, no, you don't start crying too. Sorry you had to see us like this. Oh, look at that smile. Vera? Thank you so much. Apollo, thank you. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have pressed you like that. If I hadn't, you never would have bitten your nails. No, I was wrong. Staying locked inside like that, clinging to my good luck charm. Vera. When I opened my eyes and saw you, I finally understood. It's important to be a part of the world. To see things with your own eyes. It looks like that poison had some effect after all. Killed off whatever was holding Vera back from life. I knew you pulled through, Vera! I mean, that's what Apollo was fighting for the whole time. Your future. I won't forget it. Here, let me thank you. No, really, it's okay. Why not me? Why'd you thank me by drawing Trucy? Ooh, look, it's me! I love it. Thanks. Oh, okay. God damn it! Is that me? She really captured your essence, Apollo. Well, I think so at least. That reminds me. Do you know where the other lawyer is? The other lawyer? Ooh, you mean Daddy. Except he's not a lawyer anymore. It's my fault, isn't it? I'm sorry. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. No, it's okay. I'm through looking away from the things I've done. I hope I can look him in the eyes again someday and apologize. I'm sure he'd be happy to hear that. He brought all those things for me when he came to visit earlier. You mean all that leftover stuff from his hospitalization? As well as the grape juice. You mean that stack of videos? Mr. Wright finished watching them all? You know, I knew my real daddy was alive. Huh? I was there 7 years ago, remember? I was the one who helped him vanish from the courtroom. You did what? How? I'm not telling. He promised me that day he went away. We may not meet again for some time, Trucy. But know this, I will be watching. And one day, I shall return. You're the next Grammary, after all. Oh, Trucy. In the end, he couldn't keep that promise, could he? Oh, it's okay. Phoenix is my daddy now. Even if he can't play, even if he can't really play the piano. That he can't. Oh, and I've got you too. Even if your voice is kind of loud sometimes. Glad I made your list. Hey, come to think of it, where is Daddy? The one who can't play. You know, Apollo. Do you know Apollo? I think he said he had to meet someone. I wonder. Maybe it's a new mommy. Oh, Trucy? Yes, Vera? I was wondering, could you show him to me once more? Sir Hat, was it? Oh, he's not been knighted. Yet. Here it goes. Do us an impersonation, Mr. Hat. Objection! Not loud enough. And I like Miss Magic Underwear better anyway. That's Magic Panties, Apollo! So, your memory's returned. Mr. Wright, was this all part of your plan too? I don't know what you're talking about. When I lost my memory, I was reborn as L'Amour. But you knew my true identity, did you not? That is why you chose me as one of your jurists. You're thinking into it too much. Besides, there was no guarantee that regaining your memory would make you happy. Of course it is a happy thing. For so long I thought I was alone. Now I know I have children. 2 dear children. And now I can kick Maki to the curb. I'm so proud of them. This, too, I think, is thanks to you. Are you gonna tell them? They do not know? Nope. They don't know their mother. They don't even know their siblings. I will go to them when the time is right. Until then, Don't worry. I'll take care of them for you. They're very important to me, too. A little annoying at times, but still. I have to keep an eye on her, at least. Because I'm the only one who knows how she really feels on the inside. Your bracelet. Yes? I've seen a lot of mysterious things these past 7 years, but your bracelets were the strangest of all. Forward-facing Apollo! I remember meeting him half a year ago now in Christoph Gavin's office. And then I met you. Two fates destined to intertwine. And I was there when they crossed. I'll never forget that. Such a small thing, that bullet. It tore who I was away. "10 years ago, during a simple rehearsal. It was a miracle no one died, but I didn't survive that accident. That is why I left my troupe, my family. Now my memory has returned. I am myself once more. For the first time, I'm glad to be alive, Mr. Wright." Speaking of miracles, Vera Mission regained consciousness this morning. I can only hope she's as glad as you are. It is a strange thing, fate. Sometimes a life is taken. Sometimes a life is spared. You know what I've been thinking? People don't die that easily, really. As long as they've got something worth living for. And that's pretty much the end of my story. For now, anyway. I've still got a long way to go, and this power of mine, well, needs some work. But there's hope now. We lost it, but somehow we found it again. That's why people are smiling again. Hope. Yeah, I think I'll keep at this lawyer thing for a while. Oops, training time. Gotta go. Court of Steel, here comes justice! Objection! Woo, boy. I'm glad you're staying with the agency, Apollo. It's like I found my long-lost big little brother. Oh, and don't you worry about Troop Grammary. Shrusi's on the case. Now that I have this, thanks to Daddy. Shrusi Grammary? Frankly, I've got my doubts. But Hat Grammary, now that'll pack him in. Oh, feels good to do another Ace Attorney game. It's not every day you get a trial that rocks harder than one of our gigs, yeah? That's why it's over. The Gaviners are breaking up. The news caused a run on tissues at supermarkets nationwide. You're the real stars now. I look forward to our next jam session. I probably won't go as I probably will be like more neutral with the accents on the next game. I just don't want to accidentally fumble over Gavins all the time like I was with this game. But oh boy, love me an Ace Attorney game. Well, it's finally over. You know, thinking about it, I've been a piano player longer than I was a lawyer. Now that's everything sorted, I've got time on my hands. Maybe I'll take some lessons. Or maybe I'll take the bar exam. Again. Look at that smile. Tetsuya Enomoto. Oh boy. Well, one thing's for sure. Noodle stand. Hold on. Postponing thoughts. So, I was standing around eating snackers the other day when I got this crazy idea. What if they were golden? You could augment the crunch, or better yet, make them ding. Ah, the power of science. Although the preservatives might not be 100% safe. But yeah, as I mentioned at the start of this entire game, I have played this one before, so a lot of it was going off of memory, that I could pick up small things here and there. In unlikely event you are wanting Russian feast, come to Borscht Bowl Club. The only thing colder than the restaurant is borscht. Duh, but if greater challenge is being required, then come to the hideout. You know who to ask for. what's it? I remember small bits and details about this game, but I'm really glad that I replayed it. But the next one, I have no clue. I know there's Athena Sykes, and I know there's Blackquill, and that's basically it. Oh, hey, it's Little Plum. So, Kentucky Pastries is getting back to its eastern roots. Spread the culture and all. Yo, boss, culture time! This is how we write root, capiche? But we're still about giving back to the people. Yo, boss, PR time! And this is how we write people, alright? Not that Waki's paying any attention. Oh, kids. But yeah, if you thought this was going smoothly, and you wanted to see a little bit more panic and frustration, ooh boy, look forward to the next one. Zoe! Chinese characters on cake was a fly idea like 3,000 years ago. Man, you want to make it today, you gotta keep it real, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that's why I made the OG cracker, for real. I know it doesn't look like no Cracker G. What, you want me to call it OG Muffin? I'm glad Waki's getting into the pastry business as well. And I'm glad Waki's still alive. I don't know where all this talk about food is coming from. You ask me, there's only one food. That's noodles. Noodles forever! I got a new one too, see? This time I just put a big chunk of salt in the bowl. Why pretend? Alduin's noodle is all about the salt. Salt forever. You're out of prison? My exceptionally inquisitive nature has won me unequivocal adoration in my department. You see, they used to call me Wesley Stinkler, now Wesley Stinky Hands, or Sticky Hands? But no longer. I have a new name, one that reflects my true academic nature. Wesley Sicko. Reporting, yes, curiosity is a sickness, and I am the cure. No, I think they're talking about you stealing panties. Look at all these old characters that we'll probably never see again. I don't know how to thank you all for what you've done. Light has returned to my eyes, and with it, joy. I may have lost years, but I have gained a treasure. 2 treasures, in fact. I will think of them when I write my next song. Not even gonna think about going back to magic. Brushel here, back on the beat with another interview. Yeah? How do I feel about how things turned out? No scoop yet, but journalists' confidence in mint condition. End quote! There he goes. Tying up his face with a tie again. I decided to keep painting. Originals only, of course. I suppose I'll have to see a bit of the world outside to find what to paint. But I know there are good people out there now. I've met them. The door is open. The world is waiting. Thank you. Look at that. Cute. And the amazing Mr. Hat as well. Don't see Trucy without her hat very often, that's for sure. There it is. Turnabout Succession. Achievement get. Hey, and that's... No. And that's Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. We'll be continuing with the next game, next time, whichever one that is. What's the name of it again? Oh yeah, they already said Dual Destinies. No, wait, no. Oh, I was still on that menu, I see. Whoops. You're not seeing this. Oh. Was this always painting? Oh no, this is the Turnabout Trump one. Whoops. Anyway.